guys, welcome back to Inside the Seller Studio. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things we are going to be looking for at garage sales in 2024. Before we get started on that, we did have 2 sales this week that I think are worth mentioning. We had a Melissa and Doug 3-foot long, 3-foot tall camel.
It is big.
We picked it up at Goodwill for $6 or $7. Just a couple weeks ago, it was not listed very long, and it sold for $89.11 plus shipping. And last weekend, we finally busted out the Legos again and built a set. It was incomplete, Lego set $60.79. We accepted an offer. We listed it Tuesday or Wednesday, and then accepted an offer on Friday of $350 plus shipping. There's still a lot more sets. It's kind of hard to get motivated though, because the next set we're going to be building is only like $200, which just seems so bad compared to the $350. But those were some pretty good sales that we had this week. Okay, so getting started on the things that we're going to be looking for as garage sale season kicks off. We're about a month away from garage sale season. When I was looking at all the receipts, it picks up in March. I haven't seen a lot of ads for garage sales. If it hadn't been, 30 degrees yesterday, I think we may have had, most of the day, most of the morning. I think we may have had some more garage sales pop up randomly. But neighborhoods won't start for another month.
No, for sure.
So the first thing we're going to be looking for is clothes. Clothes are always a really good deal at garage sales. Not always. I shouldn't say always. Sometimes they're a really good deal at garage sales. Sometimes people ask a lot for them. But mostly we're going to be looking for like jeans, hoodies, t-shirts if they're cheap enough and we can lot them together and get a bulk buy.
And a bulk sell.
And a bulk sale.
It's,
That's
one by one t-shirts isn't great.
Yeah.
But if you can lot them all the same brand, same size, they sell really well.
Yes.
Is that all you have for clothes?
Yeah, that's all I had for clothes.
Jackets, other things like that. So I'll just go ahead and go with the obvious. Everybody's number one. It will be video games. We do look for video games. We don't go out of our way and only look for video games, like some. Some just specialize in video games. Some stumble upon great stuff just by pure luck. But we will look for video games. We're not going to overpay because we are educated and intelligent on video games. But we will pick them up if we come across, especially, large lots, big collections. Mm-hmm. Dad's old stuff, Mom's old stuff, Super Nintendo 64, your GameCube, that time period. It sells really quickly for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have scored really well in the past. Of course, it's pre-YouTube, so you guys don't get to see it, but it does happen from time to time. And that's going to be my number one thing I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we'll be looking for is toys. This category changes all the time, and of course there's no way for us to keep up with all of it. Things like Legos are always a really good buy, especially I like buying in bulk. I like it when they're all mixed together. It's fun, it's exciting. One thing I always check every bucket is I see if there's Mega Bloks mixed in, because that is a big turn off, and I will pass on them if there's a lot of Mega Bloks in there because
Or Flego.
Yeah.
Which is fake Lego.
Yeah, we don't like Flego. Other toys are just going to be, like, we've bought a lot of G.I. Joes in the past. There's other one-offs. One year we were really lucky, and we stumbled upon a lot of die-cast Blaze and the Monster machines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every sale we went to, it seemed, and we were paying like 25 cents a car. And at that time, Starla was selling like $30 to $40. They are not that expensive anymore, so we would not be picking those up now. But we're just going to look up everything that we see that may be of interest and see if it's worth picking up. There's always toys. Toys are always at every garage sale. So it's just going to be finding ones that are worth more.
We've done really well at garage sales. Lego, we walked up to this garage sale. I got distracted with all the G.I. Joe stuff. She was in and out and made a deal and was in the car I'm pretty sure, eating breakfast before I even like started talking to the guy. She had bought his large collection of castles, Men of the Forest, the Night stuff, before I even paid attention. I did do well with the G.I. Joe stuff we bought, but nothing like her Lego stuff. So big garage sales can happen. It's just you gotta buy it right.
Yeah, I paid $20 for that bucket. And I will say, the first set, building it took over 8 hours. So definitely think hard if you want to do Lego and actually build it by set, because it is like a labor of love. It's going to take a lot of time. So you can't just look at the money and say, oh, it's worth it, because you're going to be putting a lot of time and effort into getting the sets built.
To maximize your profit. And don't be that person that just goes through the collection, pulls out all the minifigs, sells those off, and then just sells the rest as bulk. Bulk what? That's a castle and, Knight of the Forest, Men of the Forest. Don't sell those as bulk. You should at least just sell it as a collection. Say, here's the books we have. This is what we believe's in here. Okay, so my second thing is shipping supplies. I am going to be looking for shipping supplies. In the past, we've done really well buying someone's old padded envelopes, people's boxes, shipping boxes. I'm not looking for like their recyclable Amazon boxes, but I'm looking for shipping supplies. Tape, everything's gone up here recently. Everybody knows that. Shipping supplies have gone up. The cost of shipping supplies have gone up. Shipping those shipping supplies has gone up. So, I just spent, what was it, $80 I think for 10 boxes, or $50 for 10 boxes. Something crazy. They're specific boxes, but I would have loved to have found those at a garage sale. So one of my top things I'll be looking for will be shipping supplies.
Mm-hmm. The next thing I'm going to be looking for is books. And I know we've said books a couple different times. When we say books, we're not talking chapter books. We're not necessarily talking kid books either, although there are some really good sets that are worth a lot of money, like Value Tales, if you have the right books within that set. I'm talking manuals and guidebooks. So Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer. We stumbled into a Warhammer collection a couple years ago, and we paid like $60 or $80. I don't remember what our total was, but when we were done with it all, it was over $1,000, and that paid for our new computer, our new home desktop computer. So I always look at those guidebooks and manuals, and sometimes it's also like collector's guides as well. One that comes to my mind is the Tammy doll. It's hot pink. We've sold it a couple different times, like $40.
Yeah, so like collector's guides as in info books, not necessarily Barbie, because there's a lot of them made. There's various editions, versions, but sometimes we've done well with like quilts. We've done well with
clothing,
sewing books. Man, I can't even think, but it's not just, don't look for the kids' chapter books. Animorphs, Goosebumps, sure, if you can get them in a large lot and very cheap. But most of the time, those people have great fond memories of those, so they price them high. My third thing, right? Yep. Yeah. Third thing is I'm going to be looking for boots. And typically we would just say shoes, but I really hate cleaning shoes. I don't know how those big time shoe sellers do it. I do not enjoy it at all. But boots, because of their price, I'll look for boots. So work boots, steel toe, heavy duty boots, good brands, Wolverine, Cat, Ariat, those type of boots. We bought a bunch, not a bunch, but we bought a handful of them last year, and I finally got to cleaning them, and then a couple of them sold right off the bat. So I'll be looking for boots.
And sometimes you can get them for like $5 a pair.
Yeah. Plus, think of things that people have to have for jobs. Steel toe shoes or steel toe boots. Tools, but there's so many varieties and brands and so on. I'll just leave that to the experts. But boots, you have, some jobs require steel toes and so on. So I'll stick with boots.
The next item I have on my list is plush. I'm not talking all the Melissa and Doug huge stuffed animals. That was kind of an. We'll look it up on a case by case basis and see how much space we have in the garage to store. It did sell really fast, but I don't really want to get in the market of large plush. I'm talking more like Jellycat, the Jellycat brand. That usually sells really well for us. And Build-A-Bear. Not all Build-A-Bear, specific Build-A-Bear. So like Pokemons are always really good, as well as the Halloween Build-A-Bears can be 100 plus for one stuffed animal.
Yeah, there's a
werewolf.
There's a zombie bear. There's a bunch of them that we've had. Headless Horseman, I think. There's a bunch that we've had. We got them all from one garage sale. Also, to go back on that Melissa and Doug big plush, the reason ours sold is I found a box for it, a perfect box with absolutely no extra room, but it was perfect. It was skinny. I didn't have to cut it down. It was the perfect height and width, and there's 5 others listed. When I listed it, there's still 5 others listed. People were just making up crazy shipping prices. I put an exact amount in because I had the box before I listed it, and I knew exactly what it would ship for, and it sold first. We didn't cut the price. We didn't sell it $40 less than everybody else. We just had our shipping accurate. And that's kind of the key on those big plush animals. So my 4th thing is lots/collections. So, for example, when we bought those books, I don't know if I would have bought one D&D book, but because there were 20 D&D books, or 30, or however many it was, I bought the lot. I bought the collection of them. We've bought, I don't want to buy a one-off of a figure or a die cast, or I want to buy a collection. So I'm looking for things where they had a collection. Somebody collected them, somebody put in the effort to get them all, because there's probably somebody else that is doing it. You can break up collections, you can sell them individually, you can sell them as smaller collections, halves, 2 different lots, but I'll be looking for collections/lots.
The 5th thing on my list is vintage electronics.
Do you like testing those?
Oh, I never test them. I put them in the garage and John gets to test them on testing day.
That's why it's one of hers.
But they are really fun to buy because you can usually get them really cheap because someone thinks it's just an old piece of electronic, and it sells for a lot. So specifics are going to be Sony Handycams with night vision. That one is the crazy one. You can get like $150 to $200 for the camera if it's working. We do test everything. We don't really like selling it in untested condition unless there's no way for us to test it, because we do want the most money possible. Another thing we look for are the VCR DVD recording combos. Those can go pretty high as well. Not super fun to ship though.
Other vintage electronics would be just regular cameras. I've said it a dozen times. I enjoy testing 35mm cameras. It's fairly simple, especially if you know what you're looking for. Not all 35mm cameras are crazy. I guess vintage electronics would also include most digital cameras. There are some crazy digital camera sales here recently because they don't really sell them too much anymore. Not for just a regular person wanting to take a camera on a trip or whatever. But yeah, digital cameras is another one we'd have to add to vintage electronics. Oh, that's your last one? Yeah. So my last one is nostalgia. And the reason I put that is we are in our 30s, and there are certain things that we remember from growing up that we see at garage sales and we point out, oh, there's something that I forgot about, or I should have been looking for, or I should have already gone out and bought. So I'm looking for things that follow along those lines. Last year at the end of the garage sale season, we bought a binder of Pogs. That's one of those things I had them growing up. I didn't go out of my way to buy them. I wouldn't do it again, but I did buy that binder. I think it was $5, and I got almost $100 worth of Pogs out of it, and they were all gone. I think we've got one lot listed left. So You know, a lot of these things fall into that category: toys, video games, books. But anything that kind of has that same sentimental value, um, a lot of people now have money that they didn't have when they were 8. A lot of people have kids. Now that they have an 8-year-old, they want to show them um, that thing, whatever it be. Board games is another thing. We've done really well with some older vintage board games. And yeah, so anything that follows along the line, not including Coca-Cola plates, Elvis Presley plates, um, Pepsi cups. You know, some of the cups are fun from the Burger King, McDonald's time period from the 70s.
Happy Meal toys.
Yeah.
They're fun to look at, but they're not worth anything.
They're not. I mean, there are the 3 or 4 exceptions. We're not going to be buying boxes of Beanie Babies. That's not what we're after. But things that are a little bit more off the wall. So I think that's the top 10 things we're looking for 2024. It may seem early to have this list come out, but we're ready for some garage sales.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting really low on our shelves of our inventory, our holdover from last year. So I'm ready to put some new stuff on those shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I did want to say in the lot/collections, well, it may actually fit in other categories, but records. A lot of records, you can get those at garage sales. You kind of have to be picky. Just don't go willy-nilly and buy everything. It's all condition based. Don't buy them scratched. Don't buy them water damaged. Don't buy them torn or ripped. But records, we'll be looking for more records this year.
You will be. I don't know how to check condition
Exactly.
or anything.
She'll look for them and go, John. And then I'll go look at them.
I'll stand guard if anyone else is wanting to. That way he can get to them first.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really all we've got for this week. This coming week, our hunting video, yeah, it was really cold. I'm not gonna lie.
We didn't go hunting.
It was 21 degrees. I do have something I do want to go over. We did buy a lot/collection of something, and that'll probably be my topic for the week for that Wednesday video. But this coming weekend, we have our second indoor flea market.
Yay.
They gave us a second one because January it's closed because of the Chili Bowl that they have, the races there. So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, that's all we've got for today. Thank you for tuning with us.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.